Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello. If you're a subscriber, returning a subscriber, hi, hello. So I originally started this channel as an ASMR channel, but I am trying to change that, but I'm having some problems with renaming my channel because fraud, I guess. People tend to do it a lot. So anyway, this video will be kind of soft-spoken, with maybe a little bit of ASMR, but anyway, I love that I'm always coming to you guys looking like a mess when I showered and washed my face. That's why I look like this, but moving on, we're not going to worry about it. So I have been gone for so long that people thought that I was dead. Well, a lot of people wish I was dead. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, I'm just here to give you guys kind of an idea of what I read since I've been gone. So I can't even remember what I've showed you guys that I've read, to be honest. But we're just gonna start. So anyway, I think where I left off before was I had started reading this, which is The Secret of You and Me by Melissa Lindhart. This is a book about two women, kind of in a forbidden romance, if you will. One of the women is an out lesbian, and she comes back to her hometown after like a family death, and she meets, reconnects, I guess I should say, with another woman who she was like best friends with, and they kind of had a thing when they were in high school and college, but that woman is now married with children, and kind of goes from there. Don't want to say too much, but as an out lesbian, this book was very fun. What a wild ride. And I thought it's like a lesbian's version of like a paperback romance. That's pretty much it. It was really good though. I'd give it like a 4 out of 5 for me. It wasn't very long. I'm not a big fan of hardback books, to be honest. They're kind of just like bulky and uncomfortable, and for me they're like hard to transport and read because I do take books with me a lot of the time to work and outside, and I take it with me when I'm in the car if I have to wait in a waiting room somewhere, you know, whatever. But this book was like 350 pages, something like that. It wasn't very long, but I really liked it, and bonus points for being gay. Next, I don't even know if this was next, but I read Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin, and I loved this book. I absolutely loved it. I got this copy from eBay with the green sprayed edges. You can't even see. I have a candle here, so hello. Rosemary's Baby. Get the full ambiance. Yes, bitch. But anyway, I got this on eBay for like $4. Love it. I love that it's old. It's tattered. It looks like it's been through hell. Let's see when this copy even came out. I have to be very careful or I'll rip it. 1967. This is my 1967 copy of Rosemary's Baby, and I absolutely loved it. I also like the film, but the book was very fun, and I absolutely loved it. The husband in this, hate him, wish he would die. Actually, he's very toxic, and I hate him, but it is a reflection of the times, so also it's kind of part of the book, but loved it. 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. I loved it. It was a good read, but you know, not one of my favorite books I ever read. Next, I read Life's Golden Ticket. I bought this book at a thrift shop in my area after I had just moved after a toxic breakup. We love to see it. And I was going through like the self-help section, I guess. Why is there hair all over my mic? Sorry. Anyway. And I picked this up because it sounded fun. I wish I could read the synopsis. But it has none. But basically it's a story about a man and a wife. They're having issues, they're fighting all the time, and the wife gets hit by a car, I think, and she's like almost left for dead, but she has like this piece of paper, or no, she goes missing in the mountains or some shit. I don't really know. Something happens to the wife. It's been too long. It's my own fault. But and she's finally found like 30 days later, and she has like this envelope in her hand, and she tells him that he can't open it. He has to go to this abandoned amusement park, and he'll find the answers there. He thinks she's gonna die. He's like, oh my god, it's her dying wish that I do this, so I'm gonna do it. And he does, and he goes through all of these rides, and each ride is supposed to symbolize strengths and weaknesses in himself, and different events in his life, how he's gotten here to this point, things that he could have done better, regrets, remorse. Kind of deals with all of that. It's very deep, but kind of fun because it's told in like a carnival type way. And also, I didn't even know this, but at the back of the book you get your own envelope with a message inside, and I thought that was super cool. So I liked it. It's by Brendan Burchard. He's like very recognized in the self-help kind of spiritual community, and I thought it was good. It was a short book, you know, it's not even 200 pages, but I'd give it like a 3, a solid 3. She's a solid 3, like me. Moving on. Next, what did I read next? I don't even know. One of my favorite books of all time, of 2021. It was my first time ever reading this, and I swear to God, it literally changed my life overnight. I'm not even joking. As you guys saw from my last video in December or January, I think it was, I don't know. I was going through a really hard time. I had just broken up with someone that I had been engaged to and I was with for 2 years, and they were extremely toxic, and I decided that I would just leave this person, which was a great decision for me, but also it's hard to like start all over when you're starting kind of from nothing, but we won't go into that. But anyway, I found this book and I read it, and I swear to God, it literally changed my life. Like, and I always saw this lady and I thought she was the biggest bitch, like on TV and stuff, but this book was fucking amazing. I can't even tell you how amazing it was. But this is If You Have to Cry, Go Outside by Kelly Cutrone. Yes, honey, yes. Amazing. One of my all-time favorite books. But anyway, this book's not very long either. It's not even 200 pages either. It's like 189 pages. This is by Kelly Cutrone. Obviously, it's kind of a memoir about her life, how she got started in the PR industry, and how she became such like a well-known name because she works really hard. She doesn't take any bullshit, but she's also very spiritual. She's very kind, but she kind of has to like push and be hard. She's literally the epitome of a Capricorn. Love that for her. But yeah, she just works really hard. She's a badass bitch, and she has a daughter, which I didn't know. and I dog-eared a lot of pages. Don't come for me. And wrote like parts that I thought were really important. So like she has a whole list in here, the ultimate power girl movie list, and it's got like all of these movies listed. Let's see, I like highlighted some of it and I want to read some of it to you because it was so good. 12 steps to starting your own religion. Uncover, discover, or recover your true self. Accept the fact that you have been programmed by society, your family, religions, Hollywood, and other influences. Become fully conscious of this programming so that you can deprogram yourself and resist what society has been demanding of you. It's just super cool. She's super spiritual, which I didn't realize. I'm a very spiritual person myself. Especially getting out of a toxic relationship, I've really found like spirituality such an important part of my life now, and like part of my healing and my acceptance of being alone and things like that. So it was super cool. I don't think I can see it because this lighting is so bad, but literally, if you want to feel like a badass bitch and you want to read something that is going to like really challenge you and also make you feel like, God, I need to like work my ass off and I am going to get everything I want in life, this is the book. Please do it. I bought this book for $4 and it changed my entire life. So moving on. Okay, next I read Baby Teeth by Zoe Stage. It's probably like Zoe Stad or something. I don't know. I think she's like Swedish or something. Origin, but I don't know. This book was a wild fucking ride. Okay? I'm sure you've all heard about this book. I've seen Books and Lala talk about it. I don't know if Gabby Reads has talked about it or not, but a lot of people talk about this book. It's a thriller slash horror novel about a woman who has this like 7-year-old daughter who just refuses to speak. She's never spoken a single word, and the husband is just kind of like, she'll talk when she talks, and the mother is like, no, this is weird. There's always like a stupid ass husband who just doesn't fucking listen. Who would have thought? No offense to any man out there, but anyway, this kind of goes through the mother and daughter perspective. So it has like one chapter will be from the mom's perspective, one chapter will be from the daughter's perspective, and it's really creepy and weird and scary. And like the daughter really hates the mom for some reason. I don't want to give too much away, but the daughter hates the mom. The mom is kind of starting to hate the daughter, to be honest, and it's kind of scary. It's actually really scary, but I really enjoyed this book. I'd give it like a 4 out of 5. Again, it's a hardback book. I hate to be like a snobby bitch, but I really hate hardback books. They're so difficult to tote around. But I think it's like maybe it's 304 pages. But this book was really, really good. I actually wish they would make it into like a movie or a TV series. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, I got this at the dollar store for $1. Can you believe my luck? And I loved it. The blurb at the top says, "We need to talk about Kevin meets Gone Girl meets The Omen." So that's pretty true. I thought it was a really, really good book. So pick it up if you want to read it. Next, moving on, I read The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings on this book. I literally feel like I could make a whole video just about this book, and I actually might do that. Let me know if you'd like to see that. This book was entirely too long, first of all. Okay, it was literally almost, I think, over 400 pages. Yeah, it's like 403 pages. Way too long, first of all. Let's just get that out of the way. I bought this also on eBay from an older couple, and when I bought it, they sent it to me with a post-it note in it that said, "Thank you so much for buying this from us. We've been trying to get rid of it." Bad vibes right off the rip, right? Let's just get that out of the way. Bad vibes. Whatever. I've had this book for like a year, and I refuse to read it. I refuse to touch it because of the bad vibes. Okay, but we're not letting that affect us. No bad vibes. None. We're well protected. We don't worry about that now. But anyway, obviously you know the story of the exorcist. I don't really need to go into that, but the book was very interesting, although it is extremely vulgar and scary and goes into detail about things I don't really want to know about. You know, it's about obviously a child that gets possessed by a demon because she's been playing with the motherfucking Ouija board. Like, you know, you shouldn't do that. Come on. She does it anyway. And her mom's like this really rich actress and all that shit. And it kind of goes like the mother's perspective, but it also goes in a perspective of the priest, one of the priests that ends up coming to try to give her daughter an exorcism, which I thought was actually really interesting. The book was really, really good, but it was so graphic in some parts that it was almost uncomfortable. I think about halfway through, I ended up wanting to DNF it because it was just a little too uncomfortable for me, but I ended up finishing it all, so that's great. I would give this book a 3 out of 5, just because of how uncomfortable it made me. So that's that. But now I can say I read it. Moving on. Next, I read, excuse my post-it notes, Lunch in Paris, a love story with recipes by Elizabeth Bard. This book, I picked it up because I've just come to accept and realize that I love Paris imagery. I just think it's so, it might be the Taurus in me. It's just so romantic and so like comfy and cozy, and food and sex. It's like everything that I love, you know. Paris, I love it. This follows a woman, this is her memoir, kind of how she met her husband and their kind of life in Paris and her adjusting to Paris and whatnot. I really liked this book. I've annotated obviously a lot of it for recipes mostly. But I will say one thing, is there are a couple of times in here where it's kind of transphobic. It's also kind of like classist. She's like a very rich woman, and she just like is like, I moved to Paris and I met my husband and we bought a little apartment and had no heat and no water. It was so bohemian. That's like, was it bohemian? Was it? There's people living every day that don't have running water, so it's not really bohemian, Elizabeth, but whatever. So some things like that were like, you know, like I was rolling my eyes. But anyway, it's a cute story. It's got really great imagery. She can really describe things. Like, I could picture Paris perfectly when I was reading this. The descriptions of the food had me bussin'. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. But we can all acknowledge that books can be good, authors can be bad, right? Okay. This book was also pretty long, I think. Or it took me a while to finish, at least. Probably because of all the recipes and stuff. It's like a little over 300 pages. I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty cute. It was a light read. I'd give it like a 4. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, honestly. So, moving on. Now, I read this book. I just bought it and I read it, and, you know, whatever. It's really one of my first Stephen King books I've ever read. So I picked this up purely based on the cover. I'm not even gonna lie. I love some like 50s, 60s, 70s weird, like kind of pop art, poster art, movie poster art. Like, I love that look. And this is what it has. This is Stephen King's attempt at a crime novel. I say attempt for a reason, okay? Very good. Well, I read Pet Sematary by Stephen King, and that was a great book. Too long. All of his books are a little too long, but it's okay. I loved it. Joyland by Stephen King, right? Pretty good book. How many pages? Still a little too long. Over 300 pages. Like, what? Can we stop doing that? But it's basically about this boy. What's his name? Devin Jones. He is a college student, and he decides to take a summer job at a carnival. And his girlfriend's kind of like ghosting him, ignores him, whatever. So he's kind of going through heartbreak. And he takes this job at a carnival, and he meets friends, and he starts living his life. And we find out that there was this serial killer that had killed this woman at the carnival, and people say that her ghost is in one of the rides. And so he's like trying to like be all detective about it and find it out. But then there's also like a side story of like him and this little boy and his mom, and how they come to be close. Really, like, it started to pick up towards the end. The entire, like, almost over half of this book is such a slow burn. Literally, I think I was at page 150 before we started finding out about the crime. Really, 150 pages of this book is literally talking about the main character, Devin, working in the summer at a carnival, which is fine, like, if that's what you want to read. But like 150 pages of that, like, damn, can we move the fuck on? It's a crime novel, and I wasn't getting a lot of crime out of it. A solid summer read, though. I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5. It was content, and I read it. Did I enjoy it that much? Not really, but it was a okay book for me. But you might enjoy it, so there we go. And then the book that I'm currently reading, which I'm kind of having a hard time reading, to be honest, because it's kind of going over my head. I might not be that intellectual to understand it. And this is the reason I don't pick up sci-fi, dude. Like, okay, this is The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. Fuck. I picked this up because I really like to watch Emily Fox here on BookTube. Okay? Emily Fox, I love her accent, and I love that she reads so much sci-fi, but she looks like a cottagecore queen. And I was like, you know what? I want to branch out. I want to read more sci-fi. Because I read a lot of contemporary, like, standalone fiction, a lot of thriller, a lot of mystery, stuff like that. Horror, light horror, I don't mind. But I don't read a lot of sci-fi. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick this up. It sounds really cool and interesting. I love challenging ideals about religion and spirituality and beliefs mixed with science and stuff like that. So I was like, that's a really cool idea. The whole premise of this book is that there is a group of people who are sent to a new planet to discover what's there. And the people that they send are like a priest, a doctor, a child prostitute, a young astronomer, an engineer, stuff like that. And the only one who returns to Earth is this priest. But he's kind of like lost his mind and shit like that. And it's all trying to like figure out what happened. And it sounds super interesting, right? Like, the premise is amazing. This book was published in 1996. And this book is very long. I hate to say it, it's 405 pages. And, oh my god, big books really scare me. But, I'm only on page 22, to be honest. So far, it's a little confusing. It's obviously set in the future. You know, the first chapter is they're in Rome of 2059, and then it goes into like December 2019, which is weird because this book was published in 1996, so it's just weird that to see that, even though we've already passed 2019, you know, but they thought it was the future. It's just crazy. It's like 1984 by George Orwell, but whatever. But I'm really hoping to get through this book. I am determined to not DNF it, but if it becomes too dense, I will put it down and pick up something else, just because I've been on such a reading kick lately, and I really don't want to pick up a book that's like super dense or hard to read and then it make me not want to read, because I almost did that with The Exorcist. The Exorcist was so hard to get through at the end, and so like just weird and disturbing, that I was like, fuck this, like, and it's over 400 pages. Like, no, I don't want to fucking read anything else after that. I think I took like a week break for reading because I was like, I just can't do it anymore. But yeah, so I'm hoping that I can get through this book. I have a lot on my TBR, but I can make a separate video about that. But anyway, I know that was kind of a quick rundown, but I had read a lot of books and I haven't made a video in a really long time, so I wanted to get that out for you guys. But thank you so much for coming to my channel today and watching my video. Even if it wasn't as relaxing or super soft-spoken as it normally is, or as you would like, I'll still do some ASMR videos here and there, but I think I'm trying to branch out a little bit because I have a lot of energy. And I need to get it out, okay? So, also, my life is super crazy. I've got a dumbass dog who's deaf, and he's always loud, always in my videos, so yes. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching my video, and I hope you have a good night.